everyone, Amanda here. So, how's the junk journal going, Amanda? Well, it's not. Next time I say I'm going to make a journal out of just junk, please, somebody just give me a backhander. I'm finding it quite a frustrating process. I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to work a little bit on my journal today. But I'm going through this process because I always said that junk journaling wasn't for me. I like to use pretty papers that all coordinate, that it just makes my life a little bit easier. Am I a lazy crafter? Absolutely I am, because I believe in not making your life difficult. I've got limited actual junk, so I'm relying a lot on old books, and I'm going to have to rely on art supplies. I'm finding it frustrating, and I'll tell you why. I am one of those crafters, one of those weird crafters, and I never have a WIP. What's a WIP? WIP? Works in progress. Never. I concentrate on one project until it is finished. So I'll have all my supplies out. I might even leave them out overnight. Okay, if I'm working on something, I don't put it away, I just leave it. And I leave everything out and I finish that project. And then when that's finished, I move on to another. That is virtually being impossible. Well, it's impossible with this junk journal that I'm doing, because it takes a lot more time. Okay, it takes a lot more thought. Maybe if I did it more regular, I'd get faster at it. I don't have a huge supply of junk, like I say, so I'm having to get really creative. Now, that's not a bad thing, and I'm not criticising junk journals. I'm just saying that I find it very time-consuming, a very time-consuming way to make a journal. Okay, if you've got all the time in the world and, you know, that's what you like to do, that's good. Sadly, I don't have all the time in the world. Maybe if I did, it wouldn't be such a problem. Anyway, so what I've done so far, I found these, which are the vintage cards. So I'm slipping these in. This is Little Mouse. So it's going to be kind of nature sort of theme. I'm using the Edith Holden pages as a base. It's not an Edith Holden journal. So these little cards, look how fabulous they are. They're so old. Look at all the foxing on the box. It's probably damp. And they're like, they've got braille on them. And I just thought they were cute. They don't really fit with the theme, but don't care. I'm using them because it's giving me these lovely pops of colour. Because I was determined that just because I'm making a junk journal, it's not all going to be just brown and grungy and dull. So another thing that I have done kind of off camera, I have added fabric, like lacy scraps and scraps of fabric to nearly every page. It adds texture. It's interesting, and, you know, this is stuff I've had in my collection for years. And, you know, I've ended up with bags of scraps, and I don't really do a lot of fabric crafting, so I thought, okay, let's see if we can add some. So I've added them, and then these little clusters, I did a video on these. These are all from either things that I've made or stamped or book pages, or I've drawn them. So I've added these little tabs, and what I'm going to do is at a later date, I might either make some dangles or sew some old buttons on. As you can see, and then more leftovers I've added to the little envelope pockets that I did. So here's another one. We've got Mrs. Squirrel here, and I've just literally randomly sewn them, and then some of them I've added some of my clusters. So I've added that to most pages, and this is literally scraps out of the bottom of the bag. A little bit of doily. This is a bit of raw silk and a little applique. And again, this is a tiny bit of toile fabric that I've covered a journal in ages ago that I made. We've got Mr. Robin. We've got Master Mouse. A fabric cluster that I'd already made that was in my collection. A little bit of leftover wedding applique. You get the gist. This is a little bit of sari silk and a random applique. And I've just added those. And I've added a few of the clusters to the pages. Random bit of, I only had one piece of this, so I've cut it up quite small. Raw silk again. leftovers, again, a cluster that I made donkeys years ago and never used. And then here are just some scraps I put together like a little flag and just sewed them across the top. So that's where I'm at so far. And I'm not going to lie, I'm finding it a bit of a struggle. So I've got a huge amount of, although these are not my thing, I do have a huge amount of admiration for those ladies and gentlemen, because, you know, it's not just ladies that craft. My pages are all in a mess now, who do this and do it really well. Okay, a huge amount of admiration, because you must have the patience of a saint. Me and patience and time are not, we're not close cousins. So let me show you what I've grabbed together. So this is, and I was saving it for what I thought was a special project, but this is a menu from a fancy restaurant that I went to once, because it was expensive. I'm never going again. It was like a Michelin star restaurant, and this is how they presented the menu to you. So I'm going to use the envelope, and I'm not going to use the actual menu, but I want to use this. I think it's cute, and I think we can use it in the journal somewhere and somehow, and I'll somehow maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Let's have a look, and I'll make a tag or something to go in it. So let me just find a page that I like for it to go on. Quite like that, because then it's got this, you can see that through it when it's open. So that's quite nice. Now it's a little bit torn there. So what I'm going to just do is I'm going to grab my new favourite kind of washi tape, which is this. I'm not even going to sew on it. I'm just going to add it. And this is just cheap bandage tape or surgical tape. And it's so cheap. It's like, you know, instead of washi tape. And it's super thin. It's terrible. And I got it because I'm going to stamp and paint and make my own washi tape. So that's what I'm just adding there. Okay, so I could do with something for the closure. So let me grab my scrap. What have I got here? I mean, these are not technically scraps, but you know, I'm getting where it's a bit difficult now. I'm going to class this as a scrap. Because, I'll tell you for why. It's old Stampin' Up! Twine. I have had that in my collection for about 5 million years. Okay? So, you know, I might not be true to junk journaling, but I'm using what I've got. I'm not printing any digitals. I'm not using any shop-bought things, although this was originally shop-bought. But it's in my stash. Okay? I can't do any better than that. I really can't. So I'm just going to attach that. Is that even long enough? Yeah. So that'll just be enough for a closure. So I think what I'll do is, I think I will, have I put my tape away? I'll just use my fabric, my bandage tape or whatever it is, surgical tape. It's super thin. And I think I paid about 40p a roll for it. So it's a darn sight cheaper than washi tape. Because some of the washi tapes, blimey, you need a mortgage to buy them. They're so expensive. So, yeah. Going to be doing something with that when I get time. And then I'm going to glue it. It's like a really thick vellum. Okay. So I'm just going to glue. I'm using minimal glue because, you know, glue doesn't like vellum, or vellum doesn't like glue. But I'm not too worried. Okay, I'm just making a simple little wraparound pocket there. I'll stick it in the middle there, like so. I'll wait for that to dry, and then it will open up like that. And I'll stick something in there. What we're going to stick in there, I have no idea. So, for example, here's some tag bases. So I could put a tag in there, okay? What else have I got? In fact, let's have a look. I found these as well, which are really old. I don't even know where they've come from. They're super old. And the cards, but they're really thin. I might actually just bob one of these in and reckon on like that's a journaling card. I like that fox one. He's lovely. The colours are a little bit bright, but oh, that's cute as well. I think I'll have that. I think I'll have that, and I might just bob an envelope in, even though the colourway doesn't necessarily go. So it's like a little note card. It's very thin. They're very old. So I think I'm just going to bob him in there like that. Will it fit? Oh, it's not going to fit. Right, it's not going to fit. It's not going to fit with the envelope, so let's make it fit. Let me get my little chopper. What do I need to cut off? About that much. And I'm going to just have to trim the bottom off so I can get it in my chopper so I don't have to get my big trimmer out. Okay, so hopefully I can't be doing with the mess that's on my desk neither. I'm going to have a right good moan. A right good moan. I could probably put more than one in there. I might go back and put an extra one in at a later date. Okay, but there we go. That is a super fast and easy. Just using my junk. Okay, well, I'm classing it as junk. All right. Right, let's get going. So I might just add this somewhere as well. But what I might do is add some kind of painty stenciling on there. So let's have a look. Where can this go? Let's find a page for it first and then I'll decide. It's going to be quite bulky, but I'm determined that it's only going to be one signature because I don't think I've got the attention span to do anymore. Should we have it on here? No, that's boring. I might just leave that for writing, although I don't think this is really going to be a writing journal, if I'm honest. Will it fit there? Would it fit there? Let's have a look. I could put it there, couldn't I? And it is going to be just a little bit large, but if I glue it kind of halfway, you know, peeking over the top and peeking over the bottom, then that's going to be fine. So I'm going to add that now. I might add it with some of my cheap washi. I'm not sure yet. And I've gotten these lovely stencils from All Create or All Create, AALL. I quite like that. Now, how do I want to do it? I've no idea. No idea. Let me think. So I think I'm going to use some white paint. So let me just... Oh, I can't use that. It's still wet. Sponge. Let me get a sponge. Here we go. Let's have a look. I'd quite like to cover this with paint and use it like it's a stamp rather than use it as a stencil. In fact, I think I'm going to. So let me just get this and let me just get some white paint. So this is just white acrylic paint. I'm going to put it all over. I'm not bothered if there's some bits that I've missed and it's a bit sketchy because I think it adds... My favourite word for when something's really a little bit rubbish, but you know, you just go with it. We're adding interest. Okay, I think I'm going to add a little bit of this pink as well, so that we've got just a little bit of different colour. Yeah, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I don't even know if this is going to work. Look how pretty that is. Right, let's have a look. I'll move that down there. And I'll get another one out. So these are my leftover pages. Okay, I'm not bothered if I get paint on them. I will use them in my art journal like as if they're like jelly print. So I'm going to put that on there like that. And then let me just get... try and hold it firm and I'll use this sprayer. Oh, it's shifting. It's shifting. We don't want it shifting. And let's see if we can get some sort of print that just looks a bit painter. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, I like that. That's really cute. That bit's a bit uneven. Let's get... Yeah, I quite like that. I'll have to go and put that in the sink now. It's just adding a little bit of interest, isn't it? Let me just... What other stencils have I got? Let's have a look. I've got a heap of stencils out. Not sure what I'm gonna... Oh, let's have some... Should we try some leaves? I think I probably need to wait for that to dry, to be honest, and I don't want to put the heat gun on. We'll waft it. We'll waft it, and then shall we maybe put one of these clusters on? Let's have a look. What have we got? I've got so many of them. But, yeah, I think we need something a little bit more dainty. Quite like that one. That's quite nice. That's nice as well. We'll have this one. Because you can think and think and think too much, can't you? What have I just done with my glue? Oh, it's there. You can think and think and think a little bit too much. And what I will probably do is... I'm going to put this in my book, but at a later date, I'll probably go back with some of my handmade washi or something like that and add some more detail or labels. Or in fact, I'll get my labels out. I might be able to add some labels. So I'm going to add that there. Let me get my labels out. What have I got here? Washer. No, that's not right. Stickers, no. Labels. Here we go. Labels. What have I got in here? What have I got that I could use? Oh, that's quite pretty. Let's have a look. Numbers. Numbers? No, we don't want numbers. Let's have a think. I'll just have a think while this is drying. I can't use my digitals, can I? No, I can't use those because those are digitals. Let's have a look. I nearly slipped up then. Nearly slipped up. That's annoying. Can't use my digitals. Right, stay out of those drawers because they're full of digitals. Okay, can't use those. Let's have a look. Where's my tray of goodies? I don't know where anything is. This is one of the frustrating things. Here it is. Here's my tray of goodies. So these are stamped so I can use these, can't I? Oy, oy, oy. Let's have a look. Let's do a bit of collage on here, shall we? Yes, let's. Let's have a look. What have we got? I could do with a label. Label. That's nice. That's nice. Some numbers. Some numbers. Let's have a look. Right. Oops. Quite like that there, actually. Quite like that there. So let's get it down. So, yeah. So I am one of those weird people that can only, I don't know why it is, but I'm the same with everything. If I've got an appointment coming at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I can't focus on anything because I know I've got this appointment at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I just can't. I've got, just weird. It's just an Amandaism. It's nothing to worry about. Just a nutter. I think I just want one little bit of a number there, overlapping here. Okay. Because remember, I can't just get my Tim Holtz washi tapes out because that's not junk. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. Can't do it. That's super pretty, isn't it? No, I'm not using that yet. So that will do for now. I'll probably go back at a later date maybe and add some more to that in the book. So let's use some more of this. And I know it's not junk, but we'll pretend that I had a broken arm and I already had it in my stash. I didn't, I'm lying, but we can pretend, okay? Because otherwise, life's just too difficult. I'll stick that on there like that. And I might just stick that in my book. The other thing is that, although I am lucky and I do have a craft room to myself, so I'm not complaining, I actually have quite limited desk space. So to have all of these things out, I'm moaning, aren't I? Stop moaning, Amanda. Blimey, sorry. I'll stop moaning. I won't. I'm going to carry on. So, and the good thing about this is, it is, you know, you can add and remove it. Although I've gessoed my pages, so it will be quite sticky. So if I turn it that way, and we're going to add some more on the back, it gives it a double joint effect. And then you can flip over, and you can, because you can write on this tape. It's super fabulous. Okay, so now we've got a little flip pocket. All right, and I can, it's already made for me, so that's made my life a little bit easier. I could have used packaging. Get under there, you slippery little sucker. Could have used packaging and made my own, but then, you know, how can I use eyelets? Eyelets aren't junk. I'm being pedantic, but I'm trying my hardest to do it right. So what should we do now? Let's have a look. So I really love these images that I got out of one of the like flower books. And I'm getting where I don't want to use them. That's another thing. I'm like, no. Because once that image is gone, I can't get another. With my digitals, I could print it. I could scan it, but it won't be as nice. It won't be as clear. It never is when you scan things. And you do have to be careful with copyright when you're scanning things anyway. I mean, only if you're selling them. But if you're going to scan it, does that not then defeat the object of making a junk journal? Or am I just being a bit of a stick in the mud, you know, because I'm not really into it, so I'm being as pure as I can. And also, I think that'll make a nice journal, art journal page. So I don't want to use it. Excuse me, I do apologise if I cough. I've picked up the lurgy from one of my grandchildren, probably. Small children are just germ-ridden, aren't they? And I mean that in the most loving way. If you're going to get anything, you're going to get it from a small child. It's as simple as that. Right, so let's have a look what we can use and how we can use these quite large, kind of, that's pretty, isn't it? Kind of book pages. I just want to make art journal pages out of all of them. They're gorgeous. That's quite nice. No. That one, maybe? Maybe? Let's go with that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip it. Okay, I'm going to rip it to my desired size. That one. And on there. And I'm just going to add it to my page. And again, I will layer up probably with more images as I go. How much of this process, I promised when I started this process, I said, oh, I'll come with loads of ideas, and I don't have loads of ideas. I lied. That's nice there, isn't it? I think it is quite, I'm going to make it also so that you could slip a tag in there, I think. Yeah. So the ideas for mass makes, because I'm quite limited with the supplies, I think past making pockets, tags, tucks, which, you know, is all pretty standard in journal making. You know, it's not showing you anything new. It's not stretching my abilities massively. So, do I want that? I don't want that flapping. Changed my mind. Don't want that flapping about. And so I'm adjusting. You know, I think that junk journals are less structured, aren't they? It's as simple as that. And I've obviously got quite, I probably didn't realise it. I thought I was, you know, carefree and nothing mattered. But I've, you know, and I'm realising that I actually need quite a lot of structure in my creating, which is not ideal because creating and art should be very free. But you've also got to, that looks nice, doesn't it? You've also got to go with who you are and what you're about. I can't start and pretend that I'm this fantastic junk journaler when I'm not. So I'm going to go with what I, you know, I've got to still stay true to myself. That looks nice there. It's like it were made for it. So yeah, I think I'm almost battling with myself, thinking that I should do this journal in a certain way instead of just staying true to myself. So yeah, as I finish it, I'm just going to think, oh, stuff it. I'll just stay true to myself. And if I need it to be structured, I need it to be structured. It is what it is. It is what it is. I quite like that. I do quite like that. And then I want some numbers. Let's have a look. Where's my tray again? Let's bring back the tray. Let me just glue that down a bit more, because it's bugging me. So I will say I am actually quite struggling with this process. And when I struggle with things, normally I'll just give up. I just give up. I think, oh, stuff this, can't be bothered. But, you know, if we do that every time, we find something difficult, we're never going to learn, are we? No, we're not, Amanda. So I'm sticking with it, and I will 100% complete this journal. And I will figure out a way of making it so I like it. Because that is what you do when you're creative. You'll find a way of making it pretty. Okay? But I find it a lot easier with my digitals. Now, that could be because, okay, hear me out. That could be because I've already got a view in my mind when I'm creating, because I create them myself. I've already got a view in my mind of how it's going to go. So it's almost like it's super simple. I can just get on with it, and it's pretty easy. So, like with any form of art, be it making a card, be it making a art journal, I think you've got to. And I think I'm being a little bit influenced as well by some of the creatives that I'm watching, especially Sean Petit. I love her. She's brilliant. And she talks a lot about, that were brand new, that. I don't like dirty things either. She talks a lot about expressing yourself through your art, and almost her art journal is very much about self-discovery. And I used to think that kind of thing were a little bit like airy-fairy and nonsense talking. But I think it is very much about self-discovery. Not just discovering what you do and don't like, but like I've explained, you know, I have to understand that I am a person that likes structured. I'm not as easygoing as I thought I was, basically. Not as easygoing as I thought I was. I'm a bit uptight. But do you know what? That's okay. So there we go. I quite like that. I might do some painting round there. It feels a bit blocky, but I'm not going to worry about it for now. I might, let me see if I can just grab a stencil, maybe do some avocado dots. Have I got just dots? I want one that's just dots. I don't think I have, I think. No. Oh, I have, but it's somewhere else. It's away. Just let me have a look. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. Here we go. I'll use this one. This one will do. I'll use this one. So I just want some, I think I just want some polka dots there. So I'm going to, I need some more white paint. Get my white paint. And, oh, no, that's black paint. That's black paint, Amanda. Oh, dear me, it's all going wrong. Is that white? Yeah. Read the labels before you squeeze your paint out to make sure you're actually getting the right colour. What a wally. Okay, so it's the chaos on my desk. It throws me. So I don't know if I'd be interested to hear if it's just me that's a nutter. It quite possibly could be. I'm willing to accept it and own it. Or whether, do you struggle with maybe what's the word? Almost sabotaging your own creativity by being too structured. Now there you go. There's a mouthful. There's a few words. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. I don't know. It's all about self-discovery. I like that. See, that's blending that in, isn't it? I like that. Right, let's have some over here as well. Let's turn it that way. So that's just kind of adding a little bit of blending in. So what I'm going to do to make my life easier, I'm going to just remove this page a minute and flip it over. And this is one reason why I've not sewn my signatures into a cover yet, because I knew that I was going to be adding paints and things like that, and that is difficult to do. I'd find it difficult to do if the signatures were sewn in. I like that. I do. Do I want some? I think I want some down here. My brain's telling me I need some down here as well. Don't know why, but I'm going with it. Yeah. Smashing. So this is kind of the process that I'm going through. And now can you see what I mean about how it's such a slow process? And if I had all the time, but I guess, then again, let's think of another perspective. It's about prioritising your time, isn't it? So there's another thing. When people say they don't have time for something, I often think, well, you do have time. You're just choosing to do something else. So when I'm saying that this is time consuming and I don't have time for it, maybe it's because I'd really rather be doing something else. I'd rather be art journaling, or I'd rather be creating a digital, or so I don't know. Like I say, it's going to be a little bit of a journey of discovery, I think. But I think I will be able to make something that's half decent out of it. And I think I'm going to learn quite a bit about myself along the way. And I know that kind of thing. Some people roll their eyes and think, oh, blimey, she's going to be hugging trees next and singing to the wind. But it's true. And, yeah, so I don't know where I'm going with that discussion. But I think I'm going to use up some of these now. Some of these elements. We'll get some of these in. And then I'll go away and have another think, I think. Go away, have another think. I might do some meditation and light a candle. Oh, whoa, I'm not into that. I'll just have a little bit of a think, I think, and see where I'm going with it. And I think once I've got these main bits down, I do think that it's going to be a case of just going back and adding some finishing touches, because I don't think I'm going to be doing 1,000,001 things to it. I don't think I am. Quite like that. That goes quite nice with that aged yellow page there, doesn't it? So let's have that. So we're going to have a lot of tabs and a bit of decoration, but, you know, I do still want it to be able to be functional. That's the wrong way round, really. It should go that way, but I'm not bothered. I'm really not bothered. Journey. I might save that for the front cover because I think I've been on a journey to you-know-where and back with this journal. But at least I'm honest. No. You know. We can laugh, but you've definitely got to try things that are outside your comfort zone, even if it's to tell yourself that you don't like it and you're not doing it ever again. Okay? Because then you've got a reason to say, well, no, I don't like that. Well, why don't you like it? And then people go, well, I don't know, just don't. It's not good enough. It's not a good enough explanation. You know. There we go. That looks pretty. And then I'll go back through and have a look where else I can put some. That's not right. That's not right. Let's have a look. I've got one there. I've got one there. I think we need a bit of something here. That's nice, isn't it? We'll have that. And I'm just going to, whoops, glue it gently so that I can stick another one of those little cards in, I think. Because I do quite like those little cards. Where's my little cards? Who shall we have? Master Squirrel. So this is me with my stupidness, adding my little touch of silliness. Miss Rabbit, we'll have you. I like rabbits. There we go, we've got Miss Rabbit in there. Okay. We've got Miss Rabbit in there. Am I allowed to use buttons, do you think? I think I can, because I've had them in my stash years, so, you know, we'll call them trash. Right, let's have a look. Do we want anything? No, we don't need anything on there. I do tend to put everything on the right-hand side of my books as well. That's nice there. I think that's just because I'm right-handed. I don't know. Stick that on there. And then that'll make an interesting flip. And I'm nearly out of these now. So we've got to be selective where we're putting this one. Because I ain't making any more. Quite pretty there. Let's see where the next one is, because I want them quite spaced out. We've got one there. Okay, let's have it hanging off the edge of this page here. So maybe the trick is in making more things like this to decorate it further. Okay, get that glue off. Too much glue, Amanda. But yeah, so I may well, the next time you see me with this albatross, I'm only kidding. I'm kidding for comedy effect. I'm actually quite enjoying it. I am just finding it very much a challenge. Very much a challenge. But we can't be good at everything, can we? Okay? I've got too much glue on there. Come on, get off. And you've got to accept that that's okay, that you can't do everything. You're good at some things and not others. And that is absolutely acceptable. Okay, we can't be good at everything. Oh. I'm really good at getting glue everywhere. But I think that looks nice on the bottom of there. Does it want to be central, do you think? No, it doesn't need to be central. So we're getting there. We're getting quite a nice chunk. And I have got some more journaling cards to go in. And I did find this as well, which is a very old vintage. They're like cigarette cards. So I may well be pulling this apart and making some tags out of it. Or just slipping it in various places. I don't know. So that I just thought I'd come and give you an update and share a little bit of my... I suppose it's a journey that I'm going on with this journal. It's driving me mad. I am enjoying it, but it's very much a challenge for me. So hopefully you'll watch me next time and see if I've ended up in the funny farm or not, which is highly likely. And maybe I may just have to take some time off of my normal life to come and get this finished. Am I allowed to use paper clips, do you think? I don't know if I'm allowed to use paper clips. Because they're not junk, are they? Deary me. And then, you know, I can move on with my life. Move on with my life again. And get back to making things that, that's in my comfort zone. I'm having to go very much out of my comfort zone. That's the problem. And so that's another thing that I've learned about me. Do I like going out of my comfort zone? No, I don't think any of us do. But I'm going to do it anyway. So there you go. We'll get there in the end. All my stuff's falling out. What's that? Oh, that's my journey cluster. So that, I think we will save that for the front page. I hope you enjoyed my waffle and like the progress that I'm making with the junk journal. So I'm going to stick with it. I will complete it. I won't be giving this away. I did say that I'd be giving one away. I won't be giving this away because I don't think anybody would really want it. But I'm going to keep it and it will sit on my shelf and it will be a testament to how I didn't give up, how I grew through creating this, and how I will never make one ever again. And there you go. Thanks for watching. Take care and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.